Honkai Star Rail is telling players that it is okay to take a break sometimes. And that is great news. But what do I mean by that? In the most recent note by the developers, it was announced that we are getting a bunch of new features after version 2.6 and version 2.7. After more than a year, the Trailblazer doesn't need to sleep on the floor anymore and finally gets their own room that is even customizable, which is really cool. Pure Fiction also gets a new update that apparently makes erudition units even stronger. But this is the part I'm most excited about and is what I really wanted to talk about. It was announced that the Herder store is getting an update after version 2.6. Now it is possible for players who missed the event to finally get older event icons like for tomorrow's journey or before the tutorial starts. Like other Herder icons, you can purchase them from the store with Herder bonds after the 2.6 update. But from what I know, you can only get one fully maxed out copy. So only players who don't have the Lycons already can buy one. Future event Lycons will also be added to the store after the event finishes. You can get Herder bonds on a weekly basis just by playing Simulated Universe or Divergent Universe. I think this update is great, not just because these Lycons are strong, but because it's another way Honkai Star Rail helps reduce FOMO, or the fear of missing out. In case you are unfamiliar with the term, here's a simple example. Imagine all your friends and everyone you know are going to a party, but you can't go. Maybe you're too busy, or just not in the mood. Meanwhile, your friends are hyped up and you see them posting on social media, having the time of their lives. Suddenly, you're at home, feeling like you need to be there, worried that you might be missing out on the best night ever. This is a form of FOMO, a concept developers use to keep players engaged with the game. A key example of this is the stamina or resin system. One big reason why it exists is to encourage players to log in every day and spend their stamina. There's usually a hard cap on stamina or resin, and it's set intentionally. The idea is to make players feel like they are wasting a crucial resource if they don't log in every day. Stamina is probably the most important resource in gacha games. It's essential for leveling up characters, farming artifacts and upgrading weapons. In other words, stamina is vital to progressing your account. If you hit the maximum stamina cap and don't spend it, your account essentially stops growing. This pressure to optimize the available resources is what keeps many players consistently logging in. From the point of view of a business, this is pretty smart and I can totally understand why developers employ these tactics to ensure player retention. I just personally think that it is an unhealthy method. I don't think it is good if your motivation to play a game comes from someone else telling you that you need to log in every day, or else you are missing out on strong Lycons or cool events or primal gems. I believe the healthier motivation is, I want to log in today because Honkai Star Rail is a great game and I know I will be having fun playing this game. This is what I think should be the primary motivation. Players shouldn't feel like they are getting punished just because they didn't have time to play a game or maybe wanted to take a break. Otherwise, it might cause players to feel burned out from the game. That's why I really appreciate all the quality of life features Honkai Star Rail offers to reduce FOMO. I've already mentioned the return of event Lycons, which is such a great addition. Personally, I missed out on the tutorial Lycon and I know firsthand how frustrating it can be. It feels bad when you go to a site like Prideven to look up how to build a character and find out that they have a fantastic free-to-play option, only to realize it's an event Lycon you missed. Another great feature in Honkai Star Rail is the stamina system. You can actually let it overflow for a bit, which means you don't have to worry about spending all your stamina every single day. Even if you don't have time for a few days in a row, you're not wasting any of it, which takes off a lot of pressure. My personal favorite feature has to be the permanent event system. It's fantastic that all the major flagship events in Honkai Star Rail are always available to play. I really wish Genshin Impact had a similar system. In Genshin, if you miss an event, it's not just the rewards you lose, you also miss a lot of character development, interactions and screen time for characters who only really appear in those events. For example, I don't know much about Kaveh. I saw this really cool cutscene animation of him, but I don't have the full context because I missed the event that fleshed out his story. It is even worse in my opinion when the event has important lore implications like Scaramouche's first event or Albedo's Dragonspine event. On a side note, in this part, in my original script, I would be talking about how we finally get Festering Desire, the event weapon, on Genshin Impact. But I think I must have been dreaming this, because now I look online and there's no mention of Festering Desire, so I actually think I just dreamt it was just a dream. So, that feels bad. Feels very bad. Come on, Genshin. Some games like Fate Grand Order offer reruns of events, allowing players to experience them again after a year or so, but only for a limited time. Honkai Star Rail, however, does this in a much more player-friendly way. You can play the event whenever you reach the required story progress without having to wait for a rerun. Even better, if you start the event but don't finish it in time, you can simply pick up right where you left off when you return. However, it's important to note that you may still miss out on some time-limited rewards if you don't participate while the event is active. I wish they would have added this feature to Zenless Zone 02. I actually have no idea why they didn't add this, or maybe I just am not seeing it somewhere. But well, it is what it is. We can talk about some of the possible reasons why Honkai Star Rail has these features. You may have heard the saying, never change a winning formula, which essentially means if something works, don't mess with it. And Genshin Impact is definitely winning, there's no doubt about that. In theory, there's little reason for HoYoverse to do things differently. However, I don't think this perspective tells the whole story. Player satisfaction is also crucial, and HoYoverse understands this, which is why we are seeing more and more quality of life improvements. There could be technical restrictions. Maybe additional events would take up too much storage space. Also, Genshin has this problem anyways, where you can't play some quests because certain characters are stuck in other quests, which is really annoying, and adding more event quests would make this even more difficult. One major reason I can think of for the numerous quality of life features added to Honkai Star Rail is this. Both Star Rail and Genshin Impact are developed by the same company, HoYoverse. They likely want to prevent one game from stealing the player base from the other. By reducing the FOMO factor in Star Rail, they make it easier for fans to enjoy both games without feeling overwhelmed. Interestingly, it seems like the quality of life updates in Genshin Impact improved even more around the time Zenless Zone 0 was released, perhaps to facilitate playing across all of these titles. For instance, I believe the resin cap increased from 160 to 200 during that period. As a long-time Gacha game player myself, yeah, I'm not proud of it. My personal advice I can give to reduce FOMO is to remind yourself that there will always be another day. Another day to do your dailies, another event that's just as fun, another banner or character that might be even stronger than the one you just missed. There's always a rerun. Well, except maybe for cryo characters. Just like in my early example about missing a great party, there will always be another chance to go to one. And who knows, the next one might be even better. This mindset might not work for everyone, but for me it's been really helpful in preventing gacha burnout. It reminds me that even if I miss something now, there's always more content coming. How do you feel about this? Let me know in the comments and see you next time.